We interrupt our regular scheduled programming to bring you this special report from BIG 70 TV. Good evening, and welcome to BIG 70 TV. And I am Addison Malloy. Our top story is Bob Malloy. He is turning 70, and people are excited. Our field correspondents have been talking to people all over the United States about their reactions about this monumental event. Delaney, over to you.
Thanks, Addie. People are excited. Many people are grateful for Bob's support. Janet, what do you think?
Uncle Bob's story, and it's not necessarily a funny one, it's one that's very close to my heart, because I remember a few years ago when my cousin Joe and Bob's cousin Joe had a brain tumor, and he was going to be coming to Emmitsburg to visit. For some reason, I honestly think our sister Ruth got you and I into, we were going to go home to be there with cousin Joe. We were a little bit nervous because, neither one of us knew him very well, like Bob, because they were classmates. They had lots of things in common and lots of stories and fun times. But anyway, I was kind of hoping that Bob would come just to kind of help us out. But it just seemed like it wasn't going to work out. It was Memorial Weekend. And then, sure shooting, about the day that, the day he was going to come, Bob said, well, you know what, Janet, we're going to come. Ruth and I are going to come and spend the weekend. And he did, which was a wonderful thing, because the first morning that we were there with Joe, he fell into the shower downstairs. And Joanne and I really would have been in a pickle trying to, number one, he was in the shower, we weren't that, we didn't even know him that well. But thank God, Bob, in all of his goodness and sweetness, had come that weekend, and it just ended up being a fun weekend. We went fishing, and we took Sean fishing for one of the first times, but I will never ever forget, in a way I always knew my brother would be there to help us out when it was most important, and he was, not to only help Joanne and I out, but to be there for his cousin when his cousin needed him there too. So Bob's always been a good man at heart, and I love you. Happy 70th.
Happy birthday. I got to tell everybody, Bob was my brother for quite some time, since the day I was born, of course, but he became my friend when Max and I moved to Belvedere about 40 years ago. He made our transition into our life there just beautiful. We just had a wonderful time together, Max and myself and our children, the time in Belvedere. And I also want to thank you, Bob, because you bonded with my husband. You've been friends forever. And who would have thought that you'd be singing Christmas carols together? In no time, we all remember Blue, Blue Christmas. We all love you, Robert, and you have a good, good birthday and many, many more.
Just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Happy birthday, Brother Bob. I remember you were one of the most inspiring brothers I've ever had. I remember at Christmas time you hanged reindeers on top of the Christmas tree, and I thought that was pretty fascinating how tall you could reach. I also remember you were the one that gave me my first dog, and his name was Lard, and you told me that he should have his tail cut off, but I disagreed with that. I also remember when I was small that I swallowed a screw, and you were in the Army. And I remember you being in the Army and you came into the hospital with your Army uniform on. I was really impressed with you as a role model to follow, being in the Army, which made my decision also to be in the Army, which amplified it when Jerry was in the Army. But as I got older, I decided, well, my brothers were in the Army, maybe I should try something different, so I chose the Navy. And then after I got out of the Navy, I went into the National Guard because I saw the uniform, the Army uniform, and it reflected back on you and Jerry. And there again, I went back into the Army. I also want you to know that I appreciate the opportunity that you gave me to move out to Illinois to work with you as an electrician. You taught me many skills that were valuable for me down the road I also was impressed with your wife. From the moment I met her, I wanted somebody just like her. I was hoping that by chance I could find somebody either from Wisconsin, or if I moved to Belvedere, that moment I moved to Belvedere and worked with you as an electrician, I was hoping that I would find somebody exactly like your wife. But that didn't pan out, but I was lucky enough to marry a Ruth Ann, and they both share the same name. And I want to thank you. You've been a role model for me all my life, and I want to wish you a happy birthday. Thank you very much for all you've done for me, Bob. Happy birthday.
Wait. Okay. What's next?
My favorite story of Bob was when I lived in a bungalow. I wanted to have a deck put on the back, and so Jerry and Bobby said if they'd get together one weekend and come out and build the deck for me. Well, Jerry spent so much time with this string, measuring, and all I hate measuring, tying his string up, figuring out how to make it, you know, just so engineered and perfect. Bob was behind them cutting it up, and then we cut it, and they were like, "What are you doing? Well, we don't do that dumb shit. We don't do that sort of stuff." And so then finally he gave up on that, and then they decided they were going to dig some holes. And so Bob said, "We need one of those, you know, post diggers." You know. So he says, "Dwayne, do you have one of these rental places? We're going to go and rent a post digger." And I said, "Sure." So him and I went up there, and I, you know, he told the guy who wanted it. He said, "How much is it?" And I think the guy said something like $75 an hour, and he went, "Jesus Christ, I want to rent the thing, not buy the goddamn thing." But they ended up making a really nice deck.
Ben, you're busted now. Phelan, over to you.
Bob Gilly. Where back you?
Yes, Phelan, Bob is silly. And we've got stories to prove it.
A lot of you will get.
Okay, you're already on.
Appreciate this. Okay. It was honestly about. Sorry. It was about 10 years ago, because we were still at Grandma Malloy's, and we were packing up for Okoboji as we usually do. And I had a big box that was in the kitchen. And so I'm packing it, and Uncle Bob's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Make sure you save room for the Lord in that box." And I go, well, rolled my eyes. I'm like, "Of course, Uncle Bob, we're always going to save room for the Lord. Yeah, the Lord's always with us." He goes, "Oh, God, no, I'm not talking about that. You need to save room for Lord Calvert in that box. I got my bottle over here, and I need to get it in that box so it goes to Okoboji." And so, oh, there's a different kind of Lord that travels with the Malloys. Okay, didn't know. Now I do. Yeah. So now I always say we got to travel with the Lord, whichever Lord that may be. I don't know, but for Uncle Bob, Lord Calvert. Hey, bye, Tasha.
So every year we used to go to your house for Thanksgiving, and so one year we go to Uncle Bob and Aunt Ruth, and Uncle Bob probably into the Lord, and Pat's friend Phil probably into the beer. A few years after high school, Uncle Bob starts arguing with him that Phil wasn't that fast, and Phil starts arguing with Uncle Bob. Well, look at you, Uncle Bob. Whatever they start arguing, pretty soon we're out in the middle of the street at like 11 o'clock at night. Uncle Bob says, "I can beat you," and Phil says, "I can beat you running backwards." So we're out in the middle of the street in Belvedere at 11 o'clock at night, and Phil is running backwards while Uncle Bob is running forwards. We're racing, and Uncle Bob's like, "Joe, go down there to the end of the block," and I'm like this, while Phil's running backwards and Uncle Bob's running forwards, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's like 11 o'clock at night. What if the neighbors see us?" And here we are. No, don't worry about Joe. Don't worry about Joe.
I run this down.
So Uncle Bob didn't quite win the race. But
No, it's his birthday. Come on.
It was a true case of Uncle Bob showing us that you gotta have heart. You gotta prove whatever you have a heart in, go for it. And maybe.
And when you lose, drink the Lord.
Yeah, when you lose.
Because it's 70th birthday.
Yeah, well, we know Uncle Bob took us to Leech Lake fishing as kids, and you know, I always thought this was funny now, because I maybe had to be there to. It's not that funny unless you were there, but it was quite an ordeal. We were at Leech Lake, Big Rock, resorts. And we walked down, got on our boat, and the fishing guy, helped us out, get all of our gear on there. Took all this time, and we had to motor out of the bay. Really slow. It was no wakes, so it took a while to motor out onto Leech Lake. And we finally got out on Leech Lake, and we, opened her up. Right back in, just did a big U-turn. Opened it up, did a big U-turn. Literally, and we're going back. And what's the deal? He's like, well, boys, Uncle Bob's got a little pressure. and he had so much pressure that he couldn't even park the boat back up the boat launch area. He had to I don't remember who took the rein, Patrick, me, or Mike, and he had to jump out, one leg went in the water, halfway down, jump off the rocks, and right into the cabin. But anyway, love it, Uncle Bob. Thanks for being us.
Many people have special thoughts for Bob, too. Uncle Mike, Aunt Beth, what do you think?
Hey Bobby, happy birthday. Even though on the first night I met you, you told me I could only wear the roughly pink pants if I married Michael, sometimes I get to wear the others too. I love you. I hope your birthday's wonderful.
Happy birthday, Bob. Just want to thank you for all you've done. When Dad died, you became more than a big brother. You're a great friend, Bob. Happy birthday. I love you.
Happy birthday. Bye.
Happy birthday, Uncle Bob. Memories of Uncle Bob, I think, would have to be Memorial Day every year. All of us piling in and having a great weekend. Creating a lot of great family memories, traditions. And then I have to say, always all of those trips that you and Dad took fishing growing up and how that relationship meant so much to my dad. Thanks. Happy birthday.
Great.
People wrote letters about Bob. Here's one from Uncle Mike. We have thought about reading it to you, but decided to let the words speak for themselves. Thank you for joining us at this special newscast. In conclusion, we have a few final words.
Now you can sing. Happy birthday to you. Buckshot Malloy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bobby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, old man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad. Shorty, what do you say?
Hey Bob, happy 70th. I hope you have many more. Enjoy your day.
Happy birthday, RJ. Peace.
We're going to sing for Bobby. Okay?
Okay, you're recording.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bobby. Happy birthday to you. I should, before they messed my mouth all up, Bob, I was a lot better singer. But I love you, Ben. Many more. Okay?
Yeah, you're a light in our life. We love you.
Happy birthday, Bob. We've celebrated a lot of birthdays together, and all of them have been fun, and I hope this is one of the best ones. I love you very much. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Bob!
We love you!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Ready?
Happy birthday, Bob. We love
Happy birthday,
Bob.
Happy birthday, Uncle Bob. We love you.
Good. No.
Happy birthday, Uncle Bob.
Happy
Happy
birthday, Bob.
Dad.
Happy birthday, Bob.
Happy birthday, Bob! Happy birthday, Bob!
Hey!
This concludes our special report. This has been a Malloy family production.